it's Audra. Welcome back to another video. So today's video is literally the most highly requested video and question that I literally get on a daily basis. I get this question, how many calories do you eat, Audra? Every single day. And not only that, but I also get the question of how many calories should I eat? People are wanting me to tell them exactly how many calories they need to eat because they think that once they know that special number, then everything in their life is just going to be perfect. I'm going to answer the question of how many calories I eat here in just a second. So just be patient, we will get there. I first want to just talk about my approach to eating, okay? If you guys have followed me long enough, you know that I'm a big advocate for what's called intuitive eating. I kind of cringe even just saying that phrase because I feel like intuitive eating has really gotten, I mean, it's good that people are more into intuitive eating now, but I feel like intuitive eating now has even morphed into like its own kind of diet, if that makes sense. People go from like being super restrictive with their calories or counting every calorie or weighing their food or counting macros or whatever they're doing, and then they're like, screw that, I want to intuitive eat now. So now they go to intuitive eating and it's almost like they like bring with them these rules, like not the same rules from before, but different rules with intuitive eating. And they overcomplicate it. And they're just always like, okay, intuitive eating means I have to eat whenever I want to. So when do I want to? Do I want to now? Do I want to later? Should I eat at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock? Am I too full? Am I not full enough? Should I have that cupcake? If I don't have that cupcake, am I restricting? If I do have that cupcake, am I unhealthy? And it's just like, you just took all the bad thoughts that you were thinking about, like whatever disordered eating or diet or whatever you were on, over now to intuitive eating. And that's the only bad thing I hate about intuitive eating, is that it's turned into like rules to follow to how to be an intuitive eater. When in reality, all intuitive eating is it's just eating. That's it. That's literally it. It's just the act of eating. It's not even supposed to have any thought to it. It's just basically how if you saw a super normal, healthy kid and they were happy and they were living life, however they would eat, right? So if you think about a child, and again, most children, I'm not saying everyone, maybe you had a bad childhood with food or whatever, I'm not talking about that, I'm talking about a normal, healthy child. They don't put a lot of thought into their food. They eat what they like, they eat when they're hungry, they stop when they're full. Sometimes they eat a little bit more than they should, sometimes they eat a little bit less than they should. Sometimes they go to bed hungry, sometimes they go to bed stuffed. Sometimes they get lost in playing video games or playing outside or playing with their friends that they don't care about food and they'll just eat later. And then sometimes they get so excited because they're going to a birthday party and all they want is like pizza and ice cream. There's not supposed to be all of this thought and rules and regulation. And the problem with that is not so much like a diet that you're on or the intuitive eating approach or even counting calories or anything like that. The problem with that is, like I always said, it's in your mind. On some level, you have just taken the idea of eating and you've totally distorted it and warped it in a really weird way for whatever reason, like whatever your personal reason is. But now you're just like, I don't even know what to do anymore. Like I don't know what to eat, when to eat, how to eat, where to eat, why to eat, and it's just, you're confused, okay? My approach to eating is obviously, number one, I am a vegan, so I eat whole plant-based foods the majority of the time. Sometimes I'll have like some vegan junk food or whatever. I do my best when I eat whole plant foods. You guys know this, I talk about it all the time. When it comes to when I eat, how I eat, whatever, I literally just eat when I'm hungry and I stop when I'm satisfied. I do not eat the same amount of calories every single day. Sometimes I eat way more than others. Sometimes I eat less than others. I don't try to eat the exact same amount every single day because I know from past experience, when I've tried to do that, there are some days when I am hungrier, and if I'm only giving myself X amount of calories, then like I'm not gonna be able to eat more because I'm like, oh, I already ate too much, I cannot eat anymore. And then I'd be going against my body's natural cues. Just like on the flip side, there's days when if I said I can only have X amount of calories and 6 o'clock at night rolls around and I've only had like I'm shy of that number by like 300 or 400 calories, then I'd be like, oh, I have to stuff myself to reach this amount. And again, I would be going against my body. So I don't like to do that at all. I just like to eat. I know for a lot of you guys, you're kind of like, give me more than that. Like I need, what is the secret? If I had to say there's a secret, it's you have to get out of your own head. Too many people complicate it. You just have to eat. You have to get your mind off of food and off of calories and off of all that all the time and start putting it on things that actually matter. So without further ado, the number one question is, Audra, how many calories do you eat? So before, again, you got to wait a second, but before I answer that, that question implies that I know how many calories I eat, that I'm counting my calories, right? Because if I didn't count, how would I know, right? Well, here's the truth. If you have been like in the health and fitness, diet, vegan world or whatever for long enough, you basically have a pretty good idea of what calories are in what foods, okay? Like you just do. It's kind of like second nature. I can look at a banana and say that's about 100 calories. I can look at, a medium potato and say that's about 200 calories. I can look at a cup of beans and say that's 200 calories. Like I could do that if I really wanted to. Now, does that mean I sit around all day and I chart every little thing that I do? No. Does it mean that I sit there and I tally it up in my mind? No. But at the end of the day, if someone were to ask me, Audra, how many calories did you eat today? I could say, well, let me think. And I could sit there and like add it up in my head and get a rough estimate of how many calories I ate that day. Like it's that simple. It's not a perfect thing. It's not weighed out by the gram. It's not in my MyFitnessPal app or anything. It's just, that's how I can come up with these numbers that I'm about to give you. Drum roll. So the amount of calories I eat every day is 4,000 calories, okay? I'm just kidding. I don't eat 4,000 calories. On a daily basis, I eat anywhere from about 2,000 calories on the lower end to about 2,500 calories on the upper end. Now, I say lower and upper, and that does not mean those are hard and fast numbers. Some days, I might eat more than 2,500 calories. Why? Because I'm just hungry. Maybe I had a really hard workout that day, or maybe I had a really hard workout the day before and now my body is trying to recover. Maybe I'm about to start my period. Maybe I'm just tired. Maybe I just want like 3 extra Lar bars. I don't know. Like maybe just whatever happens, happens, and that's why I eat a little bit more. I don't ever tell myself, you hit the limit, you can't eat anymore. I do not do that because I can just tell you, when you do that, you are gonna hit that limit and you're gonna continue to want more because that's all you're thinking about all day is food when you're just counting all day long. And also in the reverse, there are some days when I probably don't eat up to 2,000 calories, like God forbid. Maybe it's a day where I'm literally just laying on the couch all day long with my computer and my phone in my lap and I'm just sitting there watching Netflix and surfing Instagram. And hey, guess what? My body isn't hungry for that many calories. My body's just like, hey, just eat when you're hungry, stop when you're full. Maybe I don't go for a walk. Maybe I don't work out. Maybe I don't even literally get off the couch. I just lay there. So for me to like force myself like to eat when my body is not even wanting it is stupid. It's just stupid. I say all of that and I really want to make this disclaimer very, very, very clear because I know that there's a lot of people watching this who have a very warped mentality about calories and about food and all of that. And then also there's a lot of younger people watching this who are very impressionable with this type of thing. And I just want to be clear that everyone is on the same page here, okay? I am not telling you, whoever you are, Susie, Bobby, Joey, Shannon, whoever you are, I'm not telling you to eat the amount of food that I eat. Why? Because I have no idea who you are. I don't know how old you are. I don't know how active you are. I don't know if you're a guy or a girl. I don't know if you work out once a day, twice a day, every day. I don't know if you have a desk job where all you do is literally sit on your desk all day and then you go like take your little dog around the block for a walk for 10 minutes once a day, or if you have a like on your feet 12-hour nursing gig that you do every single day. I don't know. So it's not good for me to tell you what you need to eat. And honestly, I'm gonna go on a little rant real quick because if you are listening to someone tell you you have to eat this many calories every single day or you will fail at X, Y, or Z, I'm just here to tell you I would be very, very leery of that because nobody knows your body better than your body knows it. I don't know it. Another online coach doesn't know it. A magazine doesn't know it. Some arbitrary calculator online doesn't know it. It just doesn't. Yeah, you can try that and see how it goes, but at some point I can promise you, there's gonna be a breakdown along the way. That's why I say don't even go down that road. Just stay away from that. Stay away from listening to what people say like, this is what I eat, you need to follow me, or this is what I eat, this is what you need to eat too. Why? Because you have to understand, like let's say that you follow like a certain person on Instagram, they're like a fitness coach or whatever, and they're like, hey, you need to eat this many calories, or hey, I eat this many and you need to follow me. Well, the problem is with that is, it's kind of like that quote, don't compare your chapter 1 with someone else's chapter 20. It's the same thing with calories. You have no idea how that person who's like super fit and healthy right now got to like where they are today, right? They could have been super, super overweight and then lost a ton of weight by cutting a lot of calories, and now they've built back up to maintenance. Maybe they, you know, were at a normal weight and they slowly cut calories, or maybe they've always looked like that, or whatever. Like, everyone is different, and so for someone to just tell you out of the blue, like, this is what you need to eat, and your physique and your metabolism and all of your needs are completely different than theirs, it's not gonna equal the same thing. People seem to think that if I just knew how many calories Susie eats and I match what she eats, I will look like her. That's not what's going to happen. You need to just forget about Susie, and you need to just focus on yourself. Now, since that is over, I'm gonna give you guys my top tips to stop counting calories, because a lot of you guys are still stuck in this mode, and I know that it sucks. I've been there. I know like how just stupid and dumb it feels, and once you get into it, it's really hard to get out. So I'm gonna tell you guys how to stop. Number one, you have to understand that stopping counting calories is not just gonna happen on its own, okay? It's not just one day you're not gonna wake up and just be like, I don't wanna count anymore. I mean, maybe like 1% of the population can do that, but all in all, what's gonna happen is by doing this every day, you're slowly building this habit and this routine and this ritual, honestly. And that's just going to carry over weeks and months and years down the road. So you have to ask yourself, do I want to be an 80-year-old grandma counting my calories? No, you don't. I mean, maybe you do. I don't want to do that. I don't want to have like my grandkids over and, you know, be explaining to them what Cronometer is, and they're like, what the heck are you doing that for? I don't want to do that. I just want to be able to make some food with them and eat it and go outside and play. You have to make yourself stop, and you have to understand that it comes from within you. It's a decision you have to make. No one else is going to do it for you. Your mom, your dad, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife, your best friend, your teacher, your coach, your psychiatrist, your therapist, no one is gonna do it for you. It's on you. Number two is whatever apps you have on your phone that are really tempting for you to do this, and whatever, like if you have a little calorie notebook that you keep or anything like that, you just need to throw it away, delete it, get it out, gone. Like, just be done with it. Number three is that you are going to stop if you count it in your head. Like, every time you eat, you're like, okay, that's 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. You're gonna stop counting. And I know when I say that, you're like, there's no way I can stop counting. Yes, there is a way you can stop counting. You just stop yourself from counting. You think about something different. And I know that you're probably thinking, no, I can't do that. Yes, you can, okay? Because if I were to just sit here and say, add up 156, 239, 74, 87, 567, and 752, you would be like, okay, and you'd have to start counting, but at some point you could stop yourself and say, I don't want to count anymore, and you would just stop, okay? So that's what you have to do, stop yourself from counting. The next tip is that I want you to start letting people cook for you more and go out to eat more. I'm sure when I said that, a lot of you guys probably just like, your stomach just dropped, right? And if it did, that just means that you are like a super control freak with this, and it's something that's very serious at this point. The best way to get over that is to just have people cook for you, you know, go out to eat and try different stuff. And this doesn't mean like, I know I've got a lot of vegan people watching me, and so I'm not saying like, just like your mom, make meatballs and, you know, fried bologna sandwiches or whatever. I'm not saying that necessarily, but I am saying like, if you, like, I'm talking to the people right now who are just so anal about this that they will not even leave their house. They won't go out and just, you know, have lunch with someone or go do anything like that. It's all very controlling. As you continue to do this, your eyes are just gonna be open, and you're gonna be like, what the heck have I been missing? I never go out to eat. I never hang out with my friends. I never like have lunch or dinner with anybody. It's just me all the time. And that's a part of getting over this. That's what I try to teach you guys. Don't just sit around and think about all this all the time. Go and like live your life, make friends, go out, be social, do stuff like that. Next tip is that I want you to start cooking food in bulk. Most of the time when people count calories, they cook their own little meal that they need right then and there, right? And they know every little thing. It's like 1 apple, a little tablespoon of peanut butter, maybe like a little scoop of rice, like it's been measured out. It's like some chicken or whatever you're eating, and you've got it like visually like 100, 200, another 100 calories, and you can add it all up and there you go. Well, if you're cooking in bulk, what happens is it's way more difficult to start counting. I mean, unless you're just like a genius when it comes to this, which probably some of you are, it can be difficult to say, okay, well, instead of just having 1 banana, you know, putting 1 banana in my smoothie and counting that as 100 calories, take the banana and chop it up into a ton of little banana coins, and not just 1 banana, but chop up like 10 of those, okay? chop them up, and then just put in whatever you feel like eating into the blender, and then be done with it. Because that way you don't know, did I have one banana? Did I have half a banana? Did I have 4 bananas? You don't know, and it doesn't matter. What matters is you start to eat what your body wants at whenever it wants, and then you stop when it's full. You're not stopping yourself based off the fact that you just had 1 banana. You're stopping yourself off the fact that now you feel satisfied. You can do this with so many other foods too, like potatoes, okay? Most people will cook up like 1 potato at a time, or 2 potatoes at a time, or whatever. Or if you're doing like little baked French fries, you'll do it like that. Like, okay, I have 1 potato worth of French fries. Well, instead, cook up like 20 potatoes worth of French fries. Like, take your potato, chop it up into tons of fries, and bake it. And you don't know when you start eating how many potatoes you've eaten. You're just gonna eat until you're full. Last tip would be to stop using measuring spoons and cups and all of that, and scales and all of that, if you're really into that. You know, obviously, like, you're gonna have to spoon out something every now and then, which is fine, but for you super anal people out there who like measure it down to the gram, and you level off your oatmeal and all that kind of stuff, my tip for you is to get away from that for a while, or at least, I mean, even indefinitely. Like, just get away from it. Start eyeballing stuff. So instead of having everything measured out, just like put some in there and be like, oh, that looks good, you know, like, I'll go with that. If you eat it, if you're still hungry, maybe you didn't do enough, that's fine, eat a little bit more. Like, it's not gonna be the end of the world. You're gonna eat until you're satisfied. Or let's say you put it in there and you cooked up too much. Guess what? It's okay. You don't have to eat everything that's on the plate or in the bowl. You just don't have to. You can say, okay, cool, I'm good right now. I don't have to finish this whole pot of like rice or this whole thing of oatmeal if my stomach just doesn't want it. I'll just set it aside for a little while. Maybe in 30 minutes I'll revisit it, or maybe I'll wait until later and I'll have it as a snack. You just have to chill out. Eat the foods that you like, eat until you're satisfied, stop when you're full, don't stuff food in, don't consciously restrict yourself. It should just be so freaking normal. And I have a whole series here on my channel about normal eating that you can go check out. I really encourage you to check that out. It's very informative and just makes you kind of think about like what eating actually is. And for any of those of you guys out there who are just struggling with what do I eat, I highly recommend a whole food plant-based diet for too many reasons to even name, but the number one reason is regarding like this calorie counting and all of that, is that when you eat a good wide variety of whole plant foods, you're just going to feel satisfied pretty much all the time because you're eating the foods that your body is designed to eat. I have a lot of videos on my channel as well about what's called the Vegan 5, and it's where basically you eat a plant carbohydrate, protein, fat, and vegetable, and some water with at least 1 meal a day, ideally 3 meals a day, especially for those of you trying to just figure out what do I even eat and where do I start. I hope that answers your question. Again, don't try to do what I do. You need to listen to your own body, and it's gonna take some time depending on where you're coming from or whatever, but trust me, just stop counting calories. It's not worth it. Just eat food that you like and go live your life. That's the whole point. Stop worrying about it, okay? So I hope that that's helpful for you guys. I hope that you are having an amazing day or night wherever you are right now, and I think that's it. So I love you guys, and I will see you next time. Bye.